Hello and welcome to the Team Field of View podcast, episode 9. My name is Matt.
I'm Alex.
And today we're going to talk about some gaming news that's happened, not just in the last few days, but kind of in the last few months, some of the bigger stories. We haven't really...
It's been a while.
Talked a lot since E3, so this will be kind of a little bit of a recap. Most of the stuff's going to be more recent, but we are going to get to some different topics here. The first thing that I want to talk about, let's just jump right into it. I want to talk about the Super Nintendo Entertainment System Classic Edition, or whatever they're calling this thing. You saw this announcement, right?
Yeah.
It's a pretty big deal.
No, it is. I mean, the first NES Classic Edition was like the biggest seller in a long time.
It would have been the biggest seller if they had made appropriate stock.
It sold out fast enough that if they actually caught up with it, they could have probably made a lot more money.
I'm still mad about this because I didn't get one.
It's stupid.
I didn't know I wanted one until I couldn't get one. It was one of those.
Works out.
Like, I had an NES when I was growing up.
Yeah, a lot of people did.
I grew up on that. I was playing, Duck Hunt and Super Mario Brothers, and that's about it, really. Like, Those were my two games. I had other ones, but they were way too hard. I think I had, like
one or two games, and you played it until it, like, broke.
Yeah. So, when they announced this console, it has less games, which is kind of sad. But I spent a lot more of my childhood with this system. These games mean more to me than the NES ones did. Even though the NES one had 30 games, this one has, I think, 20 or 22 or something like that. I am more excited about this system.
Yeah, this is definitely the one.
It's a little bit more expensive.
How much more expensive?
I think it's $20 more. It's $80.
Oh, okay.
Instead of $60. But it includes 2 controllers.
Oh.
Which a lot of these games are 2-player. So, pretty cool.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. The other big announcement with this system is that Star Fox 2 will be coming out. Which...
the game never released, right?
Never released.
Yeah.
It was finished.
Finally got released.
Or it was near finished. And then the rumor is that Nintendo, when the N64 was coming out, and it had 3D graphics, and then you had the Star Fox games, which were doing a pseudo 3D, using their... I think it was the 3DFX chip that they had built into it, whatever.
Something like that.
And they actually built it into the cartridges of like Star Fox and Mario RPG, I think, used it as well. And that's why some of those games are harder to emulate.
Okay.
Yeah. So, when the N64 was coming out, they didn't want this pseudo 3D to sour people on what a 3D experience could be. So then we get Star Fox 64.
Which was an awesome game.
Right. Very short game, but still
right, yeah.
Yeah, classic for sure. So, this is like... Getting to play a game you've never played before is a cool thing, I think.
No, it definitely is cool. I mean, it's not like...
It's a selling point.
Yeah.
Like, you could not care about any of those games, but it's like, you're going to be able to legally play this version. There are, like, weird, cracked copies that people have kind of, put together online of everything we knew.
Yeah, classic internet.
Yeah, but this is, like, the way to play it.
Yeah.
It's going to have HDMI, going to go straight to your TV.
No, I mean, it definitely is a selling point. I mean, it's a game that they never put out, and now you can play it.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not be that great of a game, but everyone's going to want to play it.
Yeah.
Who had a Super Nintendo, like, that's awesome. Even though you're probably not going to be able to buy it.
Yeah.
It's going to sell out, but...
Yeah, I'm not buying this system, or not going to try to buy this system for that game specifically. It's still a cool addition. I'm more excited for the Donkey Kongs and the Zelda and the Mario and stuff like that.
Yeah, you get to play it again for the 10th time.
Yeah. And I still have my Super Nintendo hooked up to my living room TV.
Yeah.
And I play mostly Donkey Kong on it. I love Donkey Kong Country. And I'm excited to play through it again. But I want to tell a little story about this saga of how this system has been in the last few weeks since it's been announced. It's been a bit of a journey. The day or within a couple days of when it was announced, pre-orders started going live around the world. We saw Germany and France and Italy and UK and Australia and all these different places get pre-orders for this system. And of course, that version is a little different than this version because it doesn't have the purple buttons on the remote. It's the yellow, green, blue, red buttons.
Okay, the Famicom?
Famicom.
Famicom?
Yeah,
that one. It looks cooler, I think.
Yeah.
That looks cool.
Yeah. This is the American version that I grew up with, so this is more nostalgic to me, I guess.
I guess purple.
Purple looks good. They look like little Smarties, but so a lot of people got this system. A lot of people in America pre-ordered this system from these European places. They're going to pay ridiculous amounts to ship it here. Can't blame them because at least they got one. Nintendo said right off the bat, we're going to make more of this one than we did the last one, so don't worry. But
slightly more. Who knows?
I'm worried.
I mean, 10 more is technically more.
Yeah. So then everyone in America is sitting like, all right, I'm going to wait up tonight because everywhere else got a pre-order. So I'll just wait. I'll just wait for a pre-order from, Amazon, Walmart, Target, wherever. Never came. Next day, never came. Next day, never came. Everybody's like, what's going on? The U.S. isn't getting pre-orders? What's happening?
Nah.
All these places put it up. Like, I subscribe to these email alerts, Walmart, Amazon, Best Buy, all these different places that it's like, as soon as it goes up, we're going to email you about it. Still nothing. But about a week later, Walmart.com sent out an email that said, hey, it's in stock.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I was playing, I think, Watch Dogs at the time and missed it by about 10 minutes because it was only available for an hour and a half. And by the time I checked my email, it was gone. And I was sad and upset.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I got serious. I'm like, all right, I got to start subscribing to more of these different places. So I've got Twitter notifications coming for certain things. I'm ready for this thing now. But the crazy thing is about a week and a half later, Walmart canceled all the pre-orders.
Oh, see, you didn't miss it. It's all good.
Doesn't make me feel better, though, because, I mean, maybe a little bit, but I feel terrible for the people that, thought that they were secure.
Yeah,
for,
that's...
a week or so, and then, no, we're going to cancel everyone's order. Just terrible. Like, Nintendo of America, almost operates as a different company, it seems, because they do some weird things in terms of...
They just, I don't know.
When to do pre-orders and special editions and everything. It's so confusing. And that was terrible.
Yeah, you think after... I mean, they did one already. You think they would have
They did one poorly, is the thing.
You would think they would learn from it.
No.
Or at least, I don't know.
You look at everything Nintendo of America's ever released.
They've done pre-orders before. I mean, you can pre-order Switch.
But there are more instances of problems than there are good things happening. And really a good thing is that's how it's intended to go. They are just... It seems like they're incompetent. I don't know what they want to just... upset their fan base. Because that's what they do.
Yeah, they're good at that.
Yeah, it's I want to play these games.
No.
You won't let me buy them.
Nope.
And it's there's so many weird things going on with Nintendo with okay, they're selling this thing. They sold the NES Classic. It's very limited. Good luck getting one. And so we're okay, obviously they don't want to sell a lot of this because then it'll take away from virtual console sales. Well, where's the virtual console for the Switch? There is none. So it's it's not even cannibalizing Switch game sales.
No. They're cannibalizing themselves. They can't sell anything because they don't put anything out.
I mean, to me, it's the only reason they're not making more of these is that they're selling it for a low enough price they're not really making much money on it.
I don't know, $80.
Okay, you got to consider that all the third-party games in there, they have to pay royalties to.
What is that?
There's 20-some games in there.
Almost 30 years old? Maybe
They
25?
still... Okay, but still, some of that has to go to there. Some of that has to go to the retail. Some of it has to go to manufacturing, shipping, all of that. I don't think they're making that much on this thing.
Maybe not much. I don't know. I feel like they would still make... They're still making money, though.
I don't think they're making enough. I think they could easily charge $100 for this and it would still sell out. Obviously, you look at the scalping of the NES Classic is going for $300.
Scalping of the Switch. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. You could sell this thing for more. If you're concerned about not making money, sell it for more. It's the whole economics of this is just crazy to me, where the demand is outstripping supply, so it's usually price rises to meet, make the demand level off. Nope, let's just make this limited edition and really just screw over half of our fan base, or more than half, because good luck getting this thing. The only people that are going to get this are people that are just F5ing their keyboards all day at these websites and going to be one of the first things. Something. Yeah. scalpers basically. So I'm frustrated a little bit, obviously, as you could tell.
And I don't even bother with it because it's a waste of time.
Yeah, I don't even need this thing. I have it at SNES, and most of the games I want to play are on this thing. I don't know.
You could just do what everyone else has been doing, where they just get an emulator for the PC. Might not be perfect.
And I have emulated a lot of those games on there. It's not perfect though, and
it's not, but it's easier.
Everything's here with the built-in interface. It's all set. There's scaling options and everything. It's it is what it is.
Yeah, there's scaling options, but you can't play it. You can't scale anything without it.
I'm gonna get this thing.
Yeah, eventually.
I'm gonna get it. This is gonna be the one I get. Now that I'm prepared and have so many alerts set up, I'll be surprised if one of these places. So the other thing, about 2 or 3 days ago, because Nintendo's been silent on this whole thing. They're like, it's coming out, and then they didn't talk about it.
So this is late July. Just so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, now we're in August, but
yeah.
This announcement was, I think, 2 days ago, but they had announced the system, and they didn't say another word about it pretty much for this whole 2 to 3 weeks this has been going on. They didn't say oh, don't worry, pre-orders are coming, or oh, we hear your concerns. Nothing, just radio silence completely. And then Nintendo posted on Facebook to their US account. I'm guessing this is Nintendo of America. The quote is, "We appreciate the incredible anticipation that exists for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Super NES Classic Edition system." That's the name that they put here.
They're so good at naming products.
And can confirm that it will be made available for pre-order by various retailers later this month, or late this month. A significant amount of additional systems will be shipped to stores for launch day and throughout the balance of this calendar year.
We're at the balance?
This thing's coming out in, I think, it's either August or September. I think it's September.
Yeah, so you can pre-order it late August. So you got a week or two ahead of time?
September to December, and then what? This is the exact problem we have with the NES Classic. Even if they have more, that you can only get it this year, and then, we are only, be shipping to stores for the balance of this year. Oh, they didn't learn. They didn't learn anything. I haven't even not gotten one yet, and I'm mad that this is even happening. This is terrible.
Oh, Nintendo's such a joke.
And it's sad because they've got the IPs, they've got the power, they've got the money, they've got everything, but they're just being incompetent for who knows what reason.
I mean, you think they're no manufacturing?
Yeah.
I mean, people
they've got
want
the
to
factories.
Sell it. They should know how many they're going to be able to make.
Yeah. Or what price they need to sell it at to make money, to make it worth their while.
Yeah.
It's if you're not going to do it right, don't do it at all. If I didn't know this thing existed, I wouldn't be mad right now. But that it exists, and that it's so hard to get, and that you're already saying, we're probably going to discontinue it at the end of the year.
Yeah,
I would rather it not exist at all, because
it would have been better. They just didn't pre-announce anything. Just it's for sale now.
Yeah, right now, all you did is make me mad. So.
Oh, man.
All right.
I won't believe it until Amazon pre-order. That seems to be more reliable.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not holding my breath.
Nah.
I've got a good chance of getting one. The rest of the world...
If I happen to walk in a GameStop and I see it, maybe I'll get it. And you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. But nah, I'm good.
You could get it and probably sell it for $400 next year.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably what's going to happen. Oh, yeah, I'll just buy 30 of them. God, I hate those people.
Yeah. All right. I need to cool down, so let's move on to another topic.
Cool down. All right, let's do another great topic with Intel. New Coffee Lake CPU. Same socket as...
I was going to make a CPU heat joke with the cooldown, but...
I don't know. No. Now, if anything, it's going to get hotter. But, Coffee Lake, their 8th generation processor.
Which has been rumored for a while.
Yeah, no.
Pretty much as soon as...
It's been on the roadmap.
I think it was when Ryzen was at... Was it CES or GDC or something like that? And they were finally, taking the... taking the red tape off it, showing it off, and Intel's like, oh, by the way, we're also making this Coffee Lake, and it's going to be our successor to the... And it's like, oh, of course you would say it to kind of take away the buzz from Ryzen, which has had a lot of success. It outsold their predictions, I think. about 2 weeks ago in their conference call. They said that. So
Yeah.
Doing
Yeah,
well.
it's been around.
Yeah.
They usually put out the names at least.
Yeah.
A couple
But they
years.
specifically were putting out press releases at the same time. The Ryzen was getting a lot of.
I mean, Ryzen coming out, Threadripper. Like, you got to say something. You can't just
Threadripper.
talk about
What
AMD.
a name, right?
I mean, that's pretty good. I give it
Threadripper. It's crazy.
But yeah, the 8th generation CPU with the same socket as Skylake and what was the one? Kaby Lake?
Kaby Lake, yeah.
Kaby Lake. But
1151,
yeah,
right?
1151. So you think, yeah, same socket should work. That's how it's always been. Like, oh, my motherboard can work with Ivy Bridge and Sandy Bridge, same socket. But no, you need a new motherboard completely. Not compatible. So that's really great.
And to be fair, this hasn't been confirmed by Intel. There was a motherboard manufacturer that posted, I think, on their Facebook to a fan who asked, "Are we going to need a new motherboard?" They said yes.
But I would trust them.
Yeah, I would.
As the motherboard manufacturer.
Yeah. So Intel's had this monopoly for a while.
No, yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah. They've been number one
since the I series came out, really.
Yeah, was that probably 10 years ago?
Yeah. I mean, we're in the 8th generation now, so.
Yeah.
The ones we both had a 920, right?
No, I did not have a 920.
What did you have?
Oh, I had a Q9550.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, from then, like the Q6600 or whatever the Q6600, that was such like a staple for the CPUs for such a long time.
I had a 920.
Yeah.
That was a good CPU.
No, that was great. I mean, that pretty much that was like creme de la creme.
Yeah, and then a lot of people had the 2500K.
Yeah.
And a lot of people still have that because every time we get a new generation of Intel, it's like 5 to 10% faster.
Yeah,
maybe.
No, it was.
And a lot of these are not getting as efficient as they should be, and you see power draws are going up instead of down, and that's not a good place to be.
No.
So.
But then and then added on to it where, if you are those people who just want to upgrade to the next one, because sometimes it's kind of cool just being cutting edge.
Yep.
But now you have to buy a new motherboard.
Yeah. And like the thing to me that I want to discuss here with this story is that if you have Intel, making these CPUs and they're marginally better each generation.
Yeah.
Which, if they don't have competition, then why make them a lot better? I get it, Yeah. Like, it's really, I don't want to blame AMD, but I'm going to blame AMD. It's their fault a little bit that they didn't have the competition to spur Intel. You can't blame Intel for resting during a downtime. Why just spend all this?
No, I'll blame Intel. Because
if you were a business, you would do the same thing. Is what I'm trying to say.
It makes sense, but it sucks for the consumer.
Yeah. So, if they're doing these marginal increases, I shouldn't need a new motherboard. It's like, to me, new motherboard, new everything. Like, even if it's the same socket, but new chipset and all that means there are new features and new, like, I should see a noticeable difference going from one to another processor.
Yeah.
So they're really making, because a lot of people would upgrade, even if it is marginal, if they could keep their processor, keep their RAM, keep their everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did with, I had Sandy Bridge and I went to Ivy Bridge.
Yeah.
It was like 10-15%, but I was like, yeah.
Yeah. So, but now it's like, oh no, you got to invest in a new processor, new motherboard. So you're going to be spending, if you're getting an i7, you're going to be spending about $400 to $500 total just to upgrade your.
You're probably going to spend like $700.
Depends on which one you're getting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy to me that they're doing this, and they're making it more confusing for sure for people that are building PCs.
Yeah, no, because like that's the biggest thing, where it's like, all right, I'm going with this CPU, so it's this socket. So you're gonna go there and be like, well, it's the same socket, it should work.
Yeah,
right?
To me, anytime that you're using a socket, like that should be the same chipset. If you're going to change the chipset, change the socket. So
because I mean, they've done this where it's like 2 generations, like Sandy Bridge, Ivy Bridge, then Haswell, Broadwell. They work together. They had the same socket. Then, but they would always change the socket number.
Yeah.
Like it was 1155, then 1156. Now, they're just like, we got all these sockets. Might as well just use them, right?
Yeah.
But
I do want to give credit to AMD with their Ryzen. I think it's the AM4 socket.
yeah.
And they've said this socket's going to be our socket till 2020 at least.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, the AM3, it was compatible with, like, so many generations.
Yeah. So it's like you buy a CPU cooler, it's going to fit. You know, you buy the motherboard, it's going to work. You buy the, you know, all the stuff, it's compatible for the next 4 years, which is great.
Yeah.
Which
perfect.
Intel is like, a year, maybe a year and a half.
Because, I mean, when you buy a motherboard, you're not always going to need to update that.
No.
Because, I mean, it has all the ports you need.
But sometimes, like, because you could use a video card with an older motherboard.
Yeah, you can use, like, a current one with PCI 2.
Right. But it's like, this is going to mean, if you want to upgrade your CPU, you got to upgrade this, you got to upgrade that. It's like, you might as well upgrade your whole computer at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, it's crazy to me. Anything else about Intel?
They're doing the same crap. I mean, Intel and Nintendo, I mean, almost.
A little bit.
I don't know. I mean, they're number one.
Do you think there's any collusion with the motherboard manufacturers so that, like...
Maybe. There was...
I know it's like conspiracy theory, but...
Well, no, there was a lawsuit with memory modules.
Yeah.
Like DDR or whatever. Like 10 years ago. And then they got a lawsuit. And then they got like $5 from that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not ridiculous.
Just to explain myself, in case anybody didn't understand, what I'm saying is a conspiracy that the motherboard manufacturers are working with Intel and like maybe paying Intel to change their chipset so that consumers have to buy new motherboards, because otherwise the motherboard manufacturers aren't making as much money if people are keeping their motherboards for longer. That's the conspiracy.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's ridiculous.
It's a little ridiculous.
Like, they might not be
sounds illegal
overtly saying that, but like, yo, switch it up. Maybe put on new chipsets, new sockets. It's better slightly, but I mean, I would believe it. Because I mean, they're adding new stuff, like new ports, like USB-C and stuff like that to these newer motherboards. Yeah. So,
but see,
there is some benefit,
right? But these new chipsets, a lot of times when I read like, oh, here's what's new in this new chipset, I don't care about any of it. But when I read like, oh, USB-C or 3.1 or whatever you want to call it, all these newer things, it's like, yeah, I want to get a motherboard because of that feature, M.2, those kind of things.
Yeah,
like I don't care about chipset features for the most part.
Yeah, they're pretty much under the hood. You won't even notice them unless you're doing something in particular.
Yeah.
Or, you know. Yeah, but mostly Intel. Maybe, try AMD. Ryzen's looking pretty good.
All right. So next we're going to talk about Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy success. Because this game kind of came out of like the fans willing it.
Yeah.
It's a fun story because you had there was a PlayStation trailer a couple years ago, and there was like a sign, like a street sign that had a silhouette of Crash Bandicoot on it, and everybody, the internet just went nuts. And since then there's just been these hints and hints and hints. But Activision owns the rights to it, so everybody's like, Sony's never going to get Crash back. And then it was at a PSX, Sean Layden comes out with a Crash Bandicoot t-shirt on, and the internet goes nuts again. And it's like, but there was just so much demand for this game that that E3 2016, they come out, Sean Layden comes out and announces Crash Bandicoot for Skylanders, which everybody's like, that's it. But he's like, no, hold on, we are making a remake or remaster, depending on your definition of that, of the first 3 games. So those games have come out now, and for the most part, people are loving them. People are enjoying the nostalgia of it. They're well made. $40 for 3 games. It's a great deal.
No, it's great.
Looks beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue that.
Yeah,
$40.
But so what I want to talk about is they announced that this game came out like right the last week of June, and one of the UK game chart that like tallies the amount of things. They said that in June, Crash Bandicoot Remastered was the #1 selling game, even though it was only available for just a couple days before the end of the month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and that's just, of course, just the UK. But this just shows, I've seen, like, you know, for the next month, I've seen people say, oh, this game was #4 or #5. And it's like, that's pretty good for a remaster.
No, I mean, that's great.
And especially because a lot of those tallies are using dollar amounts, and this game is selling for $40 versus $60 games. So they're selling a lot of copies of this thing.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? It was like 20 years since the last one came out. A part of the trilogy.
No.
Yeah. What? It says 98.
Oh, well, almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
20 years. 19. But yeah.
Oh,
jeez. But yeah, 20 years. I mean, this game. I mean, people. I mean, they've just been playing this old game.
Yeah.
And then they finally remastered it, so now they can play it on the PS4.
Yep.
So yeah.
Apparently, there are some differences in difficulty.
Okay.
Some things are easier and some things are harder.
That's good.
Like,
gives new life.
I heard that they made like the hitboxes of his feet like round so that you slide off of things easier.
Oh,
it's
that's a bummer.
It's supposed to be like people are calling it the Dark Souls of platformers at this
awesome.
point because it's ridiculously difficult.
I mean, even that's even better. Like maybe people are just starved of platformers.
Yeah.
There has not been that many platformers.
I love platformers. It's one of my favorite genres.
No, it is a good genre. I mean,
Crash,
a lot of
Crash is an interesting one though.
Out of that.
During E3, there was the E3 Coliseum that Jeff Keighley put on, and they had a Crash panel, and it was a bunch of the developers and producers that worked on the original Crash.
Sweet.
And they were just going over, like, you know, kind of reliving the glory days and talking about how they did things and the challenges they had. It's like, wow, that's crazy. Like, they used a Photoshop document and, like, used each pixel to represent a certain point in the level and like, it was really cool. It's a great talk if you find it online to listen to. And all the different changes that Crash went through. Like, he wasn't a bandicoot at first. He was a wombat, I think. It was Wally the Wombat. And they talk about all the different iterations that he went through. Really cool talk. And it made me appreciate those games more. I played through, I think, the first and second one, or at least parts of them. I never owned a PlayStation 1, but when I got my PlayStation 2, it played PlayStation 1 games. So I think borrowed those from a friend and enjoyed them enough. I'd say that, like, in terms of Sony platformers, Ratchet and Clank and Sly Cooper are more my, like, dear to my heart.
Yeah, your
or
platformer.
Even I would say Spyro. I would be more if someone said, would you rather have a Crash remaster or a Spyro, the first 3 Spyro games remastered?
Yeah, I played more Spyro.
I loved Spyro, and I do hope that they bring Spyro back. But yeah, Crash is... Oh, I forgot. There was also a tease of Crash in the Uncharted 4 game.
Fantastic.
Which was a little bit before the E3 they announced the remaster. I think you could actually... There's a scene where you can play the first Uncharted game the first Crash game in Uncharted.
Okay.
Like, he has a PlayStation. You can... Yeah. Yeah. So, I want to talk about remasters, though. Do you think that remasters are good for the industry? Are they bad for the industry? Are they good for consumers? Bad for consumers? Like,
no, I think they're good. I mean, they're good because people like the games. You're bringing it back, bringing new, updated graphics, maybe changing even the level of difficulty, which is awesome. But I mean,
well, there's different levels of like remasters and remakes where some of them are just like, oh, that glitch that was in the original one, it's in this too. For instance,
that just seems kind of lazy.
Well, like I have the Ratchet and Clank remaster for PS3 of the 3 PS2 games, or at least 3 of the PS2 games, and there is a glitch. Well, it's a really hard game in terms of like 100%ing the challenges of it because you have to get 10. I think it's like 10 million bolts or something like that. And you would pretty much have to replay the game like 8 times organically to get this many bolts. And yeah, good luck. So, and that was to get the platinum trophy in this. And there is a glitch where if you go to one of the hoverboard races and before actually going into the race, it turns out that like when you go to the race, it looks like you go to a different level pretty much. Okay. But it's actually underneath the normal level. And so if you glitch through a wall and like... So you won't be on a hoverboard, but you can land on the hoverboard track, and then you can just spam your wrench throw into these boxes and they regenerate, which most boxes don't, because every time you go around the lap, the boxes come back.
Yeah.
So you could just like sit there, and I put a rubber band around my controller to keep throwing my thing, and it just auto collected the bolts. And it took about 2 or 3 hours of doing that to get this trophy.
Shame.
I did it. So I'm just saying, like, that glitch was in the original, and it still worked in the PS3 version. That is a faithful port. And then, as a counterpoint, Ratchet and Clank got remade for the PS4, and I am about 70% through that one right now. I'm playing through it, and it's beautiful. And they've added things, changed things, redesigned a lot in terms of like level progression, and there's even new gameplay sequences and stuff like that, new gameplay mechanics.
Yeah.
It feels like a different game. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's a remaster.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference between remaster and port.
well, remaster and remake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
because
remaster and remake
to me
are the same thing.
the remaster and port like are closer than remake, because the remake is like
I would think
from the ground up.
Well, yeah. All right, that's fair. So yeah, remake is literally taking some game that wouldn't run and just making it all over again. Like, there's a game that they're doing that recently. I thought there was. I don't know.
Well, right
I'm
now
sure there's a bunch of games like that.
Shadow of the Colossus is being remade or remastered depending on your definition of how much of the original code they're using.
Yeah, I mean, if they're starting from the ground up, that's a remake.
I don't think they are.
All right, that's yeah.
I think
like
they're
a remastered is literally like the same engine, but or like the same game. They're just updating the graphics.
like, I'm playing through Ratchet and Clank, and it feels less familiar than more familiar. Every once in a while, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this, even though I just played through the HD collection like a couple years ago. They've added so much to it that it's like it's just the general like run of the levels is similar, and then all the scenery is different, and
Yeah, I mean, just like music, a remaster is just taking the old masters and just
so
redoing it. So,
like, some companies don't do remasters. Like EA, what's the last remaster they did?
I don't know. No, they just do sequels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I assume that's not profitable for them.
So that's what I'm wondering is, like, you look at this Crash thing, and they probably spent money on it, but not a ton of money.
Yeah.
Because the game was already, like, when you look at, like, okay, we got to focus test our characters and, come up with levels and unique ideas and make all this, and it's like half the work is already done going into remaking a game because you're just following a template. You're saying, okay, we're going to do this and just add stuff as we go. So I think that it's cheaper to make a remaster or remake. Probably easier.
No, I think it totally is.
Yeah. And I think that most of them make decent money or they wouldn't keep doing them.
No, they definitely are. I mean, nostalgia is...
A lot of it's not even nostalgia, though. Because
no, but look at, like, Nintendo. They're making this NES Classic. And
yeah, but you look at, like, PlayStation 3 games at the end of the PlayStation 3's life. Let's talk Darksiders 1 and 2. And then they get remade for the PS4 and PC, and they're the same game. I mean, they're remasters. They're not remakes. But I think Dishonored got remade as well, or remastered. Definitive Edition.
Oh, yeah.
It's like all these games. You got the Batman games got remastered. There's so many of these games are getting remastered. Actually, what was
They're just remaking them, but they're changing stuff, right?
Yeah, they're basically enhanced ports at this point.
It's practically just a DLC.
Well, no, it's for a new system.
It's a port with a DLC.
Shadow of Mordor came out in 2012 or 13. I think it's 13. Right. And then they re-released it for the PS4. Or am I thinking of that the wrong way?
Oh, Shadow of Mordor came out in 2014.
Okay, so never mind. I'm wrong on that one.
Yeah, you are.
It happens.
That's embarrassing.
So I'm just saying there was a lot of games at the end of the PS3 life and Xbox 360 life that got ported too.
Yeah, like what is it? That zombie game.
Zombie U? Oh, yeah, Last of Us.
that got ported.
Right. Yep.
I don't know if they actually changed any.
Let me look at my PlayStation 4. We got Uncharted Collection. We got Gravity Rush HD or remastered. Last of Us.
I mean, the collections and trilogies.
Tearaway was on Vita. I think that's about it for what God of War 3 was remastered. So
yeah, I mean, a lot of those games also helped for the people, like the kids that didn't grow up with those, and then they got a console, and now they can play these older games.
I'm a fan of remasters for a couple reasons. one of them being, well, my PlayStation 2 is gone. I need to play PlayStation 2 games. I've still got a little section of them up there. And
well, I mean, that's how that makes sense. Like, maybe that's not nostalgia, but like you have older games. Like God of War came out on PlayStation and then PlayStation 2, but now you only have a 4, so now they re-release it so you can buy it again. Like
I played through the Jedi Knight series, Star Wars, and I just finished Jedi Academy, which was a PS2 game, on my PC, running at 1080p. It was like 300 something frames per second the whole time.
Yeah.
But I enjoy those old games. I'm playing through a lot of old games right now, and it's not just nostalgia because I never played that game as a kid. It's like, that's a good game now.
Yeah, it might not be nostalgia, but like on a PC, you can run 20-year-old games.
It's rough around the edges, but it's worth playing. Yeah. And a lot of these old games are like that. So when I'm looking at this from a consumer perspective, like, the reason I buy physical games and not digital is for a preservation thing. It's like, I want to have that game 20, 30 years from now, and if my system still works, I'll be able to play it, or I'll be able to maybe eBay a used old system while they still exist.
Get the updated Classic Edition.
So if you buy digital, it's like, oh, their servers shut down, you can't download it anymore. Oh well. Like, I don't like that. And like, the only digital I buy is Steam, because Steam has
a track record.
It's already been around for what, 13 years, 14 years?
Yeah, 2004, 3 or something like that.
So
I guess 4, yeah.
So it's been around a while. It's not going away anytime soon because it's huge. And I just feel like those older games are going to still be around in my library. So I don't mind getting digital there. I don't like to get console digital if I can help it. If there's a physical version, I'll pay extra for it.
Okay. No, I can. Yeah. I mean, that's like the console's bank on.
Yeah. When I look at the 3DS, and it's like, yeah, the Switch is already out, and the 3DS is slowly dying. They're still pumping out a couple more games for it, but they just announced a week ago that the new 3DS XL would be ceasing manufacturing, at least in America. Good. So they're already starting to phase it out. They're replacing it with the 2DS XL, which is a more budget-friendly system.
Saying the new 2DS XL?
The Nintendo new 2DS XL, yeah. So the 3DS is dying, but there's still games that are only available digital. And it's like, I don't want to buy them because 2 or 3 years from now, am I going to be able to download that? If you've moved on,
No, Nintendo, no.
So from a game preservation standpoint, I like remasters because it's like, when I have a PS2 game, like, I've got Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, and 2 and 3 are on the PS2, and I play them on my PlayStation 3 that plays PS2 games, but I also have the HD Metal Gear Solid collection that has 2 and 3 running on PS3.
Yeah.
It's like, for the most part, those are better games. They're HD. They're pretty faithful to the original. And I'm going to play those, but I still have my backup of the original. But I like, from a preservation standpoint, of these remasters are bringing these old games that might get completely forgotten, left behind, and they're like, oh, yeah, here's a new version. So it's like, that game lasted for 10 years before your system died. It's like, well, now you got a new game, or the same game on a new system until that system dies. So it's just like more chance for more people to play these games.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're doing. Like, even people who never owned it.
Now, the reason I asked, do you think it's bad for the industry or bad for consumers? It still takes money. It still takes development.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that it takes... And it still takes, like... I think the reason EA doesn't want to do it because it cannibalizes their own games.
Yeah, I don't see them. I mean, most of the games that people would want to remaster for already came out. Like, what are they going to remaster?
I want a Burnout remaster.
Like the original one?
Burnout 1 through 3. Do it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think the remasters are in a good place right now where it's like these classic games. Like Bandicoot hasn't released like the original 3.
The Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, 20 years.
Have been re-released twice.
That's just... No, that is an example of too much.
No.
Because they haven't released a new game. They just like remaster. Oh, here's a half the game.
That's the argument that I want to get into here is, are they good or are they bad? Because they do take development time.
They're good for certain... like, people who do it right. Like, Bandicoot's good.
Is it?
Uncharted good.
They could have made a new Bandicoot game.
No, I don't think they should have. I mean,
like when I look at Ratchet and Clank remake on the PS4, that could have been a new Ratchet and Clank game. I just played through that on the
do you think they could have done
collection.
Like the fourth game? How many are there? Like,
oh, there's a bunch.
Yeah. I mean, were the later ones just as good?
The last two, it's confusing because some of them aren't true Ratchet and Clank games. There's like one that's like a tower defense game, but the actual mainline series titles, yes, the last two mainline series titles were excellent, and the last one being the best of probably the whole series.
Oh well, okay. So I mean, for that, yeah, but I mean, like they're kind of like remaking it, the older ones, so people can get back into it, play it on their new consoles. But if they made a new one, maybe it wouldn't be as good.
Right, but when I look at,
because that's like from the ground up, it'd probably take longer.
The last mainline Ratchet and Clank series we got was A Crack in Time.
Okay.
Which is pretty old. I have it up there. I could look at the date. But it's a good 6 or 7 years old. Probably maybe even more at this point. Like, you had 6 or 7 years, and now we got a remake of the first game, which we already had a remaster of last gen. As much as I'm enjoying it, I would be enjoying a new one more because I have played through this story a couple times now, and even recently because you just released a remaster a couple years ago for the PS3. So
they released a remaster for the first one for the PS3, and then they did it again for the 4.
And that's a remake.
All right. Yeah, because I mean the PS3 is totally different.
Yeah, I have the Ratchet and Clank 1, 2, and 3 remaster for PS3, and then the remake for PS4.
Yeah, I mean that sounds bad, where it's just like, oh, remaster for the PS3, and then a remaster for the PS4.
So any of these remasters they're doing, a lot of times I feel like they're gauging demand for that IP.
Yeah. Like
they're saying, is Ratchet and Clank still viable?
True. You could use the money from the remastered because that probably takes half, maybe a third of the time of a brand new game. But so that could help fund new games.
But that's an interesting point that you're saying it takes to, half the time, but
you would think it does.
Games are taking longer than ever to come out.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Depending.
No.
I mean, they put out Call of Duties like every year.
Right, but those are made by separate studios.
It's true.
Rotating, and they still take like 3 or 4 years. You look at Assassin's Creed.
There's 4 studios making Call
I think there's 3.
Okay.
You look at Assassin's Creed Origin, and it's like, oh, they took a year off. But even then, this studio that's making Assassin's Creed Origin started right after Assassin's Creed 4 shipped. And since then, we had Unity and Syndicate, and then a year off. So this has been 4 years since that game came out that they've been working on this new game.
And they did change a lot. So, I mean, I can imagine it's taking 4 years. Like the new Assassin's Creed, just because all the new
But elements. I'm still saying, 4 years to make a game is a long time. You look at all these other studios, like, Cyberpunk?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they did put out...
They put out The Witcher 3.
And they Gwent. They made that. Is there another game coming out before Cyberpunk?
I don't know. All I'm trying to say is
that
games are huge now.
Yeah.
Games are crazy big. They have huge development studios, huge budgets, constant delays. Like, you look at, like, last year, The Last Guardian was delayed. Final Fantasy 15 was delayed.
Yeah.
Like, all these big titles that everybody's waiting for delayed. And pretty late delays. Like, oh, yeah, it's supposed to come out in 2 months. We're going to delay it for 6 months. Like, oh, you should have delayed it earlier than that.
Yeah. I mean, Beyond Good and Evil, that's been delayed. Or postponed or whatever.
Yeah. That's a whole different story. But, yeah, games are expensive. Games are time-consuming. They're bigger risks for these companies now than they used to be.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're putting 4 years behind it.
So remasters are safer, but at the same time, what I'm wanting to say is, do you think it's bad that they're leaning on remasters so much? Because, like, when I look at my PS4 collection, almost half those games are from other systems. Because
it's a balance.
I only buy exclusive games for PS4. So, yes, there are a lot of third-party games that aren't remasters that are available that I buy for PC. But of the exclusive Sony PS4 games, a lot of them are remasters. And what games do you think we're missing out of?
I mean, you couldn't tell.
I know, but can you imagine if they had never made a remaster in this last, 10 years, where Kingdom Hearts 3 would be?
Trash.
Because we got, in between Kingdom Hearts 2, if you want to say, and Kingdom Hearts 3, besides some, like, 3DS games,
Yeah.
We had you had 1.5 remaster, 2.5, which is a 2 remaster in the other games with like they took the cutscenes of the mobile or the 3DS game and like made it, and then you had 2.8, which has a little unique story and some
2.8.
remasters. Yeah, and now then they made 1.5 plus 2.5. That's the thing.
What do they call that? 3?
No, it's just called...
Or 3.5?
It's called 1.5 plus 2.5 is the name of the remaster.
Wait, they did 4. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. So, what I'm saying is, like, can you imagine we might be playing Kingdom Hearts 3 right now instead of next year, which I don't even think it's going to come next year because they didn't even give it a hard date. It's just like 2018.
I mean, do they just not feel confident? Like, why do they keep...
Final Fantasy 15 took, what, 9 years?
Like, just Kingdom Hearts. Like, they put out 1 and then 2, and then they went back to 1.5?
Yeah, with some some 3DS games in between.
I don't know if they, like, separate their team in half and be like, well, you guys are going to work on 3 for a long time.
Okay, what about Final Fantasy 7 Remake?
Man, that's pretty cool.
It looks cool. It's still gonna be the same story, and
No,
they're even taking that game and dividing it up into sections so they can sell each one for $60.
Oh, that sucks.
That isn't confirmed that they're gonna sell them for $60, but they are dividing up into sections.
Okay,
probably at least 2 to 3 games.
That's annoying. But I mean, Final Fantasy, what is that like? They have 17 games.
They're
out?
gonna be making Final Fantasy 7. They announced it in 2015, and they're gonna be making that game through 2020 at least.
Well, I know they
So that's like 5 years of Square Enix devoted to an old game.
I mean, I haven't played Final Fantasy since 7.
Right, but there are a lot of people that love Final Fantasy.
I mean, they did a good job when they released it on, like, mobile. They remastered one of them.
I don't think they did a good job of that.
They might have not a good job, but it was a cool idea.
It was a cool idea. It's not a good execution.
Make it portable.
A lot of them, they like change music, change sprites. It's not a good remaster.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks. Like, the more and more they come out. But it's not like a huge swath of...
Right, but so we started this conversation saying, I love remasters, and now we're like, it kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, when you start to break it down,
So which one do you want? Do you want new IP or nostalgia? That's
balance.
The thing.
Because I still want games to come to the PC.
Like, what game do you want remastered right now most of any game? Or remade?
I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to get, like, God of War on the PC.
Okay, not porting to a different
Well, that's
system.
the only thing. It's like, that's what I would want. I would remastered for a different thing. Because, I mean, they remaster games to go on PS4. Which they could just easily put on other things. But, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's straight up just...
If I want anything right now,
great.
It'd either be the Halo games on PC, which...
Yes.
Or which is moving it to a different platform. Or Metal Gear Solid games to PC. Including 4. I need 4.
Well, yeah. You would agree with me. You want games on the PC.
Yeah, I want games, but it's just for the preservation standpoint.
I want them just so I can play them. Like, I don't own...
I've got the system, so...
Yeah. I don't want to go... I don't know. Just console seems tedious to me.
Tedious?
Yeah, it's tedious.
It's plug and play.
You have to, like, go plug it in. My computer's all plugged in. It's just time. It's just, like, I'm on my computer playing Overwatch. But then I was like, I guess it's over there, not plugged in.
Why isn't it not plugged in?
Well, I moved recently, so that helps.
Well, that's not the console's fault. You need to come up with a better argument for that.
No, that's my argument. I mean,
the consoles are tedious because I unplug them when I don't use them.
It's just they're lack of functionality.
Man.
I have everything set up on my computer, talk to people, play games, easy as possible.
I agree. I prefer the PC. I'm
just not a console person, I guess.
Yeah, I prefer the PC ecosystem. I do not like when I have to mod a game to make it work after I buy it. I think that's frustrating. That's a whole other conversation for a different time.
But yeah, I mean, remaster, it's a balance. Like, I think Bandicoot's good just because these games are super old. People loved them. Like, I saw a speedrun of Bandicoot, one of them, and it was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So now you're able to play it on your PS4.
Yeah.
Which is good. Like, those super old titles that were really big and haven't come out. I think that's good. But just like Final Fantasy, I guess it was just pretty old too. But just, I guess, Ratchet and Clank got a remaster and then they got a remastered again. Which is...
Well, remake.
Whatever. Remake.
It's different.
Yeah,
it's just not different enough.
No, it's not. To just port it to the PS4, remaking it for the PS4 seems kind of lazy.
You could tell they put a lot of work into it. New animation system.
No, I'm sure
There's
they did
depth
great.
of field
I'm sure
effects.
it's a great game, but I'm sure the same people bought it for the PS3.
I mean,
so now they have 4 copies of the game.
I am excited for Shadow of the Colossus because it looks great, and yeah, that game's been remastered for the PS3 already, and now for the PS4. So it's like they could have made a new game.
They probably should have, but they made a new game.
Well, actually, the studio that's remastering this one is...
Oh, it's a different studio?
Well, it's one of those studios that pretty much they only remaster, but that's still money you're spending that could have been put towards new development, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I guess it's a catch. I mean, people like old games.
I like old games.
People know that it's sold and people enjoyed it.
I guess I can't be happy because I want old games, but I want new games.
No, you can't.
Like you said, it's just the balance. So we talked about EA a little bit there.
Yeah.
So let's move on now to EA.
Some actual positive news.
Yeah.
I mean,
from EA.
I couldn't think of a bad.
And to be fair, this positive news has been building and building and building, but it keeps getting better, and that's why we want to bring it up. It was like, good job, EA. That's what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
If this little segment had a title, it'd be good job, EA.
Not bad.
Yeah. You did okay.
Yeah. So Origin and EA Access,
Origin Access.
Yeah. Origin Access is their subscription service to get games. Essentially, their library. You get a library of games.
It's their Netflix of games.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Netflix of games, and they recently added Titanfall 2,
and
they're going to add Battlefield 1.
I believe Battlefield 1 is already on the Xbox version. The EA Access, the Origin Access, I think, is getting it sometime around September.
Yeah, and they have like 50 other games.
It's crazy.
Something ridiculous.
You look at this list of games.
No,
there's Mass Effect games, Dead Space games,
all the Dragon Age,
all the way up to Inquisition, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, Battlefield Hardline, the original Titanfall, Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Like, the list just keeps going on and on and on. Even the old Red Alert game, there's the collection of like 17 games. The Saboteurs in there.
Yeah, it's
just like there's so many games in this system or in this collection.
And you think for all that it would cost what?
I think like $15 a month.
Yeah, 15. That seems fair. $15 a month, but no,
it's only $5.
$5 a month, and it's even only cheaper. It's $30 a year.
Yeah, which is like $250 a month or something crazy.
That's even better.
So, what I want to talk about with this is, do you think this is hurting EA brand?
No. If
because
anything, it's...
why would I buy a $60 game when I know it's going to show up in the vault?
Exactly.
So do you think it's hurting them?
No, this definitely helps just even general like attitude towards EA.
Do you think they're doing it just because of that? Or is it like
I think
the money we make from $30 a year, that basically means that you or the average consumer would buy less than one game for $60 a year?
Average? No, I think it'd be less. Because the people, like, it's not instantaneous. Like, Battlefield 1's been up for about a year?
About 9 months.
9 months.
Which is impressive that we're getting Battlefield 1.
Yeah, so...
less than a year.
Exactly.
All the DLC isn't even out, and this game's already coming for a $5 a month price.
That's pretty sweet. Does it include premium?
No.
Okay,
but so Battlefield 4 does include premium.
That's an old game.
Hey, that is still a very popular game.
Yes, but it's still older. Like
it still has a ton of people playing. Is what I'm trying to say.
People who bought the game, like Battlefield 1, people who bought it. $60, pre-ordered, probably, whatever. I think this just adds money that they probably wouldn't get. Like, I'm not going to buy Battlefield 1. I don't really plan to.
I would buy it. Fun. I was going to buy it for $5.
$5, yeah. But now you can, along with other games. So I think this just adds money on top. Like, they're...
No, because, like, I was planning on buying Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I was planning on buying Dragon Age Inquisition. I was planning on buying Battlefield 1, Titanfall 2. All these games that could have been like, all right, I'll wait until they get cheap. Now, I could pay $5, play all those games in 1 month, and be done with them. Because most of what I'm doing is single player on that.
No, they could.
Like, Mirror's Edge Catalyst and Dragon Age Inquisition, primarily single player.
I think a majority of the people, maybe it's only like 60%, will keep it. Keep this subscription going for 6 months, a year.
Yeah.
So, these games might not be $5 for another year or 6 months, but you're going to give the money now.
How long do you think after Anthem releases will we see it in the...
Oh, I would say probably a year. Or maybe not.
Or where they hold on to that one.
I mean, that's a Yeah, they might hold on to that.
I mean, Battlefield is pulling impressive numbers in their multiplayer. It's not Overwatch numbers, but they have a lot of people concurrently playing that game still.
Yeah, I mean, even if you get it through the vault, you might actually buy premium now. So now they're adding more money on top of that.
Well, they might add premium to it eventually, like they did Battlefield 4.
Eventually, but not... probably not when it first goes.
Well, definitely not, because who would buy premium then?
Yeah, exactly. So it might not be until the next Battlefield comes out. Yeah. Battlefield 2.
It's not going to be called Battlefield 2.
Oh, it should be called Battlefield 2.5. But yeah, no, I think this is just goodwill to the people. Be like, wow, EA is actually putting out
I don't think
games.
it's a goodwill thing.
I think
EA is not a goodwill company.
No, they're not totally... They're probably not doing it for just goodwill, but that's what you're going to take from it. The PR of just, wow, it's $5.
Yeah.
Look at all these games.
I'm still mad that all these games aren't available on Steam.
A slight uptick.
Because I would pay more, like with the amount of money, I would pay like $5 for Mirror's Edge Catalyst on Origin. I'd pay probably 10 to 15 for it on Steam. So it's like, I know maybe I'm in the minority on that, but I would personally, I value a game on Steam more than on Origin.
I mean, that's probably why they're doing it also. So people will get on Origin.
But now I'm only going to get on Origin to pay them $5 a month or $2.50 a month for a $30 a year.
Yeah, that's just you. If they get, I don't know, 1 million people to sign up, then they're going to have more people looking at their store, looking at their ads, looking at the new games.
Yeah.
Like maybe more people are like, wow, what's Anthem? Let me check that out.
Right, but me paying $2.50 a month for a game, or a whole, like, what is it, 70-something games or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I see a new game come out, and to be fair, EA's games don't always launch at $60. They're always like, oh, buy it with this deluxe edition premium for $150, and it's
exactly.
Like, but when the juxtaposition of $150 versus $250 a month,
people still buy it.
I know people will still buy it, but I'm wondering if it's going to hurt them. Like what I'm trying to say is,
it might.
Companies do this kind of stuff, but it's not always a good decision. I'm just wondering if this is a good decision.
I mean, only time will tell.
Because you might think, oh, they must have a reason for doing it, but they might be wrong in their reasoning, and they might be making a huge mistake.
They
might
obviously
lose
have people
a lot
like
of
you all just
sales.
do this like randomly. Well, they could. But
the question,
you would assume that people have looked into this, looked at other services, noticed like they're making money. Like this might only last a month or two.
So this is on PC. This is on Xbox. Why is it not on PlayStation?
PlayStation hates crossover.
Which we will get to.
Maybe. I mean, do they have? Can you log into Origins on PlayStation?
I don't know, but there is no vault of games on PlayStation right now, like there is on Xbox. I wonder if Microsoft, like, the Xbox One wasn't selling well at first. I wonder if Microsoft approached EA and said, "Hey, let's do something to help." It's possible.
I mean, yeah, maybe
build value for their people.
Yeah, Xbox is giving a higher percentage back to EA.
It's possible. So, we're going to move on now to a quick little topic.
Yeah.
Rainbow
Overall,
Six.
though,
what?
EA is good for us. Maybe not good for EA.
I'm happy.
So
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play Battlefield 1. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We're gonna play Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get some other people involved, maybe.
Finally. I'll play single player and then it'll be like, I'm done.
We can just tell people, hey, it's $5. Just $5. Play for a month.
Yeah, why not?
Try it.
Why not?
If you like it, buy it for $30 a year, and then you got all those other games. Plus, what else they add in the next few months? There's even indie games in there. There's something for everybody.
Mini Metro?
Yeah. Unravel?
I don't know.
I don't know if that's technically indie because EA published it, but anyway. All right, we're going to move on now to Rainbow Six Siege alpha packs. So Rainbow Six has not had loot boxes or loot crates, whatever you want to call them. But now it does. It was added in the last big update, and just wanted to briefly talk about this. It's not a huge topic, but I think... So, just to explain a little bit, when you play a multiplayer match, ranked or casual, if you win the match, your percentage of getting a drop goes up, and then it rolls like a little roulette thing, and so the higher your percentage is, the wider your win chance, and so when it comes around to the arrow, if you're in that arrow,
your piece of the wedge gets bigger.
Yeah, so technically you can be like right after getting one, you can get another one, you just have a low chance of doing it.
Yeah.
And you can go from super common cheap stuff to legendary super ultra rare stuff I think even stuff that you can't buy right now.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and so a lot of the stuff, the cosmetics, which Rainbow Six Siege is going to be supported for several years now. I think they've already said we're going at least through Season 4, and we're only in Season 2 now. So this game's not going anywhere anytime soon. I think this is a good addition to it. But the interesting thing is the money, like you can buy with real money Rainbow Six credits to buy cosmetic items. Or you can play the game, earn renown, and use the renown as another currency to buy a lot of the same stuff. There's some that are only available for real money, which is fair. Like, it's a cosmetic, and if people want it, they'll buy it. But the interesting thing with the alpha packs is you can get a lot of this stuff, but you can't buy an alpha pack with money, from what I understand. Because the alpha packs can only be purchased with renown or by playing a game. And the only way you get renown is to play the game. So it's like the only way to get alpha packs is to play the game. And to me, I like this because it's not like a money grab. It's not just, we need to monetize this game. It's really, let's just get people to play more of this game. And it also, a lot of people have said that it's fixed problems in the community with people are more likely to not abandon matches in the middle.
That's true.
Because now they're trying to go for their alpha pack percentage, and they're less likely to go in and team kill, or just be a troll, because people like stuff.
Yeah, a lot of games with chests, that's how it works. Like if you leave, you won't get your reward or whatever.
Right.
So that definitely helps.
So I think it's good for the community. I like that you can't buy the packs outright. You have to play the game. So it's just encouraging you, hey, just get in and try to win, because then your percentage goes up.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Like, you're, 0-2, and it's like, well, you might lose, but you got to play the game.
Yeah.
You might win.
I've seen it happen plenty of times.
We've done it.
Yeah, it's fun. There's nothing more satisfying than a huge comeback.
Exactly.
In general, though, loot boxes, cosmetics, I want to do like a little check on the industry. How do you think the industry's doing? Because it's prevalent.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Overwatch.
It really started in free-to-play games, and it's bleeding into
I guess so.
not free-to-play games more and more. Like, I think there's a good way of doing it, a bad way of doing it. I don't play Overwatch as much. Is Overwatch doing it well?
I think so. I mean...
What needs to change? What's wrong with the system?
I don't know. They've recently fixed, like, duplicates.
Yeah.
They made it less rare, so that's good. Or less frequent. Mm-hmm. You'd get less duplicates.
And I think the duplicates work the same in Rainbow Six. Or if you get one, I'm pretty sure that it just gives you renown for it, which is nice.
So, I mean, you can buy loot crates in Overwatch, which I don't really have a problem with. But if you play, you get them.
Right. How regularly do you get them?
It's every time you hit a level. So, I guess 3 games?
So, the more you play...
Yeah.
The less you get.
No.
Because when you level up, it's
the same number.
Okay.
Yeah, each level is like 20,000 XP.
It's not an exponential leveling system.
No.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's fine. So it is pretty regular. However much you play.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's fine. And then there's also legendary items during like events.
Right.
But now you can buy them with credits, which you get from loot crates.
Okay.
So yeah. I'd say for the most part it's fun.
Do you think that, because a lot of these games are moving to what a lot of people are calling games as a service instead of a game as a game, where it's like you buy the game, but then, and they keep updating the game, like Overwatch. Overwatch isn't going to have an Overwatch 2 for a while.
I can't imagine them ever doing that.
Team Fortress 2.
Dead game.
It's a 10-year-old game.
Yeah. No, I guess it's been a while.
Yeah, and people still play it.
Yep.
And it did go free to play. Do you think Overwatch... We've had this conversation before.
No.
Do you still don't think it's going to ever go to free to play?
No, because if it goes free to play, then there's cheaters. Like, that's why Counter-Strike will never go free to play.
Yeah.
There's always... There has to be a bar.
To be fair, though, the competitive Counter-Strike scene is bigger than the competitive Overwatch scene, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Till their league comes out.
Why do you think that is, though?
I guess just lack of tournaments, maybe?
Counter-Strike competitive is huge.
Yeah. I mean, there's like a majors, but I mean, they're putting
out...
But
it still took a few years for Counter-Strike Go to get big competitively. It seemed like when it came out, a lot of the community didn't like it.
It's just Counter-Strike people.
Yeah. But then it was a couple of years after it came out before I really saw a lot of internet presence on
I
Reddit
guess
stuff like that.
if you don't actually play Counter-Strike,
I have it, but I don't play it.
To become more noticeable to the non-player.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. Because I would say it definitely became more big, and then Valve had their more their funded tournaments, which became big.
Mm-hmm. So, how long do you think Overwatch will go before it gets a sequel?
Oh, I really don't think they would ever. I think they just keep updating it.
It's just gonna be that game.
I could see that happening. Because the game doesn't look bad. It has its own little style. It's
like Team Fortress 2 still doesn't look bad.
Yeah, exactly, because it has their own artistic style. Right. They're not going for ultra realistic or something like that. So I could just keep seeing them add just more characters, more maps, stuff like that. I mean,
forever.
Yeah. I mean, maybe 8 years if they really wanted to.
Because
it really depends what happens.
When Destiny came out, which sold really well.
Yeah.
When Destiny came out, they're like, "Oh, this is a 10-year game."
No, it didn't work out.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
I mean, they're making enough money off Overwatch. It was I can't see them
4 years later, and now we're getting Destiny 2 already. Yeah. So
unless if something happens, like a developer, maybe one of the lead developers just leaves, and they just totally mess up the game or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'd say for the most part, we'll see what happens in the next 3 years.
Do you think that just over time, the game will get less and less popular, and that'll cause them to do a new sequel?
It's possible. I mean, it happens to a lot of games.
It happens to most every game.
Pretty much.
Eventually. I think Minecraft is the only one that's still growing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, StarCraft 2.
You think of all the games that were huge in their time, like EverQuest. You remember how big EverQuest was?
No, yeah.
And then WoW.
WoW's still pretty popular.
WoW is popular, but it's
not.
It was big. 6 years of them just every year, just we gained 2 million players, but it is declining. It is in decline.
But then there's always that expansion. There's people I don't even realize
they come back, but then they go down. It's year over year, WoW is down.
But it's still the largest MMO.
Yes, but that's not what I'm trying to say.
In general, though, yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
I'm saying right now,
it's not as big
Minecraft
as
is the only game that came out a long time ago that is still growing, and that's just because it's expanding to more platforms more recently. It's just being added to the Switch and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then Skyrim is being ported to everything. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, Minecraft is definitely probably the most played game, I think. Just all the different platforms it's on. But yeah, WoW probably will never be as big as it once was.
Do you think we'll see more games try to go for this, where it's just, we're not going to make a sequel to this for a while? Because originally they said Rainbow Six Siege did have a sequel. They were going to have a Rainbow Six Siege 2, but they canceled that in favor of continuing the original game.
I think more games will try to do that. I don't think a lot of games will be able to do that.
They've said that Rainbow Six Siege, they want to have 50 operators soon.
Yeah.
So it's that's a goal that they're going to try to hit. That's a lot. That's a lot of characters to choose from for a first-person shooter. So
yeah.
Anything else with that?
But I mean, yeah, certain games will be able to do that. Certain games won't be able to. I don't see a Call of Duty being able to last for 5.
That's an interesting thing, though, because what if Call of Duty kind of emulated these hero-based shooters?
I mean, I guess if they eventually
they could do it. They could easily do it.
I feel like it would kind of.
No, they could easily do it.
They could try to do it.
And I think it would be pretty successful for them, honestly.
Hero-based shooting.
That's what Overwatch is. That's what...
It is what it is, but it's not like these people have, giant hammers and laser weapons and stuff.
No, but Rainbow Six doesn't.
They have unique items.
Yeah.
I don't think some of those items exist in real life.
No, but Call of Duty could do the same thing.
They could.
What Advanced Warfare was, and Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare... Black Ops 3 all had future tech, robots, mechs running around. It's they could easily do a hero shooter with Call of Duty. I honestly think they will because, Activision and Overwatch is Blizzard, which is Activision. So it's Call of Duty and Overwatch.
I don't think Blizzard's going to make a Call of Duty game.
No, but I think that Activision could look at what Blizzard's doing and say, we need to do that.
I mean, they could look at the whole industry.
Because Ubisoft's already said, we're making more games as a service.
I don't think the people who play Call of Duty want a hero shooter in Call of Duty. I think they just like how the guns are guns and the people don't matter.
Right, but the problem is if you look at sales of Call of Duty, every one for the last like 5 years has sold a little less than the one previous. So that series is slowly declining.
You think making a Call of Duty hero shooter is gonna revive that?
It could.
I mean, it could, but that's a huge difference, and that'd be a huge gamble for them.
Call of Duty 3 to Call of Duty 4 was a huge difference. That was a gamble. Look how it paid off.
Yeah,
for
I
them.
went from World War II to modern.
Right, but when you went to Modern Warfare, it's like that's the same thing as saying like you're changing the style of the game.
No, that's the same style. You still run around, shoot people.
It's a very different game, though.
You shoot people. That's
it's
all
a
do.
very. But this is still be a shooting game.
Yeah, but a hero shooter is.
It doesn't have to be.
I guess they could go more.
You could have a medic. You could have this. You could have.
Then you're just making Battlefield.
An intimate Battlefield.
An intimate Battlefield. I mean,
I'm just saying, just because you can't dream it up doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
I'm not saying it's impossible. They probably will do it. Why not? Everyone makes an MMO. Everyone makes a hero shooter.
Hero shooters are the new it thing.
I mean, Cliffy B's new Lawbreakers.
Yeah, hero shooter.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's definitely, it looks sweet.
Yep.
I don't know. They could try, see how it goes. Honestly, they probably wouldn't call it Call of Duty. Maybe they call it something else.
No, they call it Call of Duty.
Call of Duty hero shooter.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, something like that.
Become the hero. Do your duty. So, we'll see.
We'll see.
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
Not likely, but possible.
Yeah, well, that's a little divergent from loot cases.
I think what's going to happen is Call of Duty World War II is coming out, and it's
there you go.
Not going to catch on.
They're going to sell a bunch.
I think Battlefield 1 beat them to the punch in terms of, remember old things? Like
remember these old things?
Yeah, because it's like everything's been modern, future. It's like, hey, we went old, and now Call of Duty's going old. And I don't know if it's reactionary because they said they've been working on this game, and I believe them, for longer than from when Battlefield 1 was announced. But I don't think it's not gonna revitalize the franchise as they hope, because I'm not hearing the most positive impressions coming out of E3 and stuff like that. So I think it'll be a good game, but it's not going to be the savior that Call of Duty needs right now.
No.
I mean, you can
look at it. It's just,
you look at Halo. Like, Halo's not what it used to be. Of course, they changed developers.
You can't one shot with a pistol. I mean, what's the point?
But I'm just saying, like, these games need to evolve with what's popular.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing, real quick while we're on this...
Times change. You need to update your formula.
Yeah. We are a little off topic here, but I want to go into one more thing. So, this isn't... We didn't talk about this at all. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
The Battle Royale model. So we go from hero shooter to Battle Royale.
Just make Call of Duty Battle Royale?
So Ubisoft said in a conference call, we are in discussions of adding a Battle Royale mode to some of our IPs. The first one that comes to mind is Ghost Recon because it's open world, and you can easily just section off.
Yeah, you can just make Wildlands. You're like, all right, now there's a sequel.
It could just be a DLC for Wildlands.
That'd be kind of cool.
It could be a standalone.
That'd be sick.
Right, and it could be successful.
Yeah, I could totally see that being... Yeah, that'd be a positive DLC.
Okay, so hero shooters aren't dead, but now we got this new thing.
Hero shooters aren't dead.
I know. I didn't say they were. I just said hero shooters aren't dead.
Why would you bring that up, though? Why would you...
But you're like arguing with me the exact same thing I said. I'm like, hero shooters are dead. Hero shooters aren't dead.
They are dead. I didn't say they aren't dead. I just said I don't think Call of Duty would be a weird...
I'm saying hero shooters aren't dead, but Battlegrounds is doing crazy things in terms of numbers.
Oh, yeah. PlayerUnknown has sold 5 million? 6 million?
Every month it goes up by 1 million. It's actually only been out 4 months, and it's at 6 million.
1 million? Holy crap.
It's crazy. And it's only on PC.
Yeah, because it's better system.
And they hit a record last week for the most concurrent players on Steam by a non-Valve game. I think it was like 400-something thousand people playing at once. That game is growing.
Just Ubisoft. Just give PlayerUnknown. See what he wants.
Okay, but I don't want to talk about just Ubisoft. I want to talk about the industry. And will Call of Duty add this? Would you think if you were at Activision on the Call of Duty team and you're, because they make these games a couple of years in advance, If you started development on a game now and said, should we go hero shooter route? Should we go battle royale route? Or should we just keep doing what we're doing?
I think would you do? Battle royale mode would be
better for Call of Duty.
Yeah,
but Call of Duty's never been open world.
Well, you don't need an open world. You just need a bigger map. I mean, if you want to call that open world. I mean, what?
No, because
what's the difference between a huge map and an open world?
But Call of Duty has had modes where it's like once you die, you die.
Yeah.
So it's like Battle Royale. The reason it is what it is, or Battlegrounds, is how big it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What if you just made what's the difference
in the random loot?
Battle or like PlayerUnknown is just a huge map. Why does that make it open world?
Because it's huge and you can go for like 20 minutes without seeing anybody.
Yeah, well, that's just a huge map. When you say open world, I just think of a single player campaign where you
can
just go
when
anywhere.
I'm saying open world, isn't just the big map. It's that you come in with nothing. You have to scavenge. You have to.
I think it's just semantics. Sure, open world, whatever. But yeah, they could make a island, and they could just make it shrink. I mean, they could just expand upon the maps they have now.
Yeah, like really, this started with DayZ in terms of like permadeath kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
big world.
They made their King of the Hill mode, and then H1Z1 has one, and I don't know. I guess they're the same game.
But then Battlegrounds is taking off.
Yeah, no, he made it better, different engine, and everyone loves it. And now people are just finding the game and they're like, yeah, I want to buy it, and then they buy it.
Right, but what effect do you think this is going to have on the industry?
I think, more. I think people should put out more. I think Ubisoft should incorporate it in Ghost Recon. Mm-hmm. That'd be awesome, I think. Because they already have the open world. Maybe if they...
You know what I'd like to see?
What?
A large world, not necessarily massive. Large world, like a city, Splinter Cell, stealth.
So you want Assassin's Creed?
No, I want modern day. You have to like be sneaky, and you're trying to hunt all these other like assassins kind of thing,
Right.
And you're like sneaking around, hacking things, and
so Assassin's Creed in modern day.
No, Splinter Cell.
All right, no, that'd be
you have guns and stuff.
So you can make Battle Royale, but stealth.
Yeah,
there might be
in a
other
city.
People.
I think Ubisoft could do that.
No, they could. They have a few different.
You look at
IPs they could put that in.
You look at Hitman, for instance. Hitman went open world-ish. It went large world. It went sandbox is the term to use. Hitbox went sandbox level where large area and you can play the different missions in different ways and the targets change, and so it's like you're doing all this in the same area.
And that's doing great for them.
They just hit 5 million, I think.
Yeah, that's where I got 5 million from.
Well, no, because Steam Spy said Battlegrounds had sold 5 million, but then Battlegrounds came out and said, "Yeah, we did 6."
I remember I saw that
Steam
earlier. Hitman 5 million.
So it is something that we could see the industry really going towards.
Yeah, just going more open in their games.
Video games have always been kind of copycat.
Oh yeah. Hey, I mean it worked once. Might as well do it again.
I mean you remember when Halo came out, and then every first-person shooter to come after that was the Halo killer. I remember Killzone 1 was called the Halo killer.
Oh, it's so dumb.
And then, of course, Call of Duty came along and killed Halo.
Like PS4, PC killer.
Yeah.
Or something stupid like that.
And now Overwatch is killing Call of Duty, I guess. Right?
I don't know.
What, Overwatch has 30 million registered users?
Yeah, but I don't know if people...
Call of Duty sells like 8 to 10 million a year now.
I mean, do people say, wow, I played Call of Duty, now I'm going to go play Overwatch? I guess. Either way. Sure, they're
not playing Call of Duty anymore.
They're
so
definitely
taking
something. People from other games and bringing them over to Overwatch.
Yeah. So, I'm just curious of where this will take the industry.
No, I think, there'd definitely be more hero shooters, and it'd be stupid for developers not to even look at like a Battle Royale kind of game. Because they're fun, and they're obviously selling, so...
I think next year around E3 we should make bets of how many hero shooters we'll see and how many Battle Royale games we'll see.
One a developer.
I think we're going to see quite a bit because, like I said, it's copycat industry. And because everything is so expensive, they don't want to take risks, and so it's like, if something else is popular, let's emulate it because that's less risk.
Yeah, why not? I mean, because you can incorporate it in a game like Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should do that.
Yeah. All right, we got one last topic here. We're gonna move on. We kind of mentioned it earlier.
I don't know what you're talking about. But Sony. So right now you play Minecraft through Xbox Live with a PC, an Xbox One, and a Nintendo Switch. But Nintendo has come out saying they don't want that.
No, Sony.
Sony, my bad.
Not Nintendo.
My bad. So Sony was like, they don't want their users to be logging into a separate platform to play with cross-platform.
So this was around E3, and we're just now getting to talking about it, but it's still a contentious issue. It's a hot topic
because they've applied it to other games, like what's the game?
Rocket League.
Yeah, Rocket League. Yeah. That's the game.
And
so,
it'll be applied to future games.
Yeah, these huge online games where cross-platform makes sense, like Minecraft, keyboard, controller, whatever, it works. Like games that should have cross-platform. And Sony's just saying no. They want to have control.
Get that quote. Yeah. Let's pull up the quote. So, Jim Ryan.
Where is that?
I don't know. You have too many tabs.
Oh, too many tabs. Either way. But yeah, Jim Ryan, the marketing and...
head of global marketing and worldwide something or other for Sony. He was in an interview. Do you remember who the interview was with? Game Informer?
No, it was Eurogamer.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
So while he's getting the exact quote, I'll just kind of summarize. He's saying that Sony has an obligation to its users to protect them from other people.
Yeah, external and for whatchamacallit, whatever.
All right, so here's the quote.
We got to be mindful of our responsibility to our install base. Minecraft, the demographic playing that, you know as well as I do. It's all ages, but it's also very young. Because a lot of kids play that game.
A lot of kids.
We have a contract with the people who go online with us that we look after them, and they are within the PlayStation curated universe.
Mm-hmm.
Exposing what, in many cases, are children to external influences we have no ability to manage or look after. It's something we have to think about very carefully.
So, part of that makes sense. It's like,
it sounds like they're coming from the right place.
What I hear what he's saying is, okay, like, if somebody says something awful or makes threats on PlayStation Network, PlayStation can ban them.
Yeah.
If somebody does it on a different service, they can't.
No.
Because they don't have the authority to. But why can't I play PC to PS4 in Rocket League? That's what, like, I get what he's saying, but it sounds like an excuse.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's totally just relying on the children.
Yeah.
Just think of the children.
Think of the children, yeah. And to me, this is such a Nintendo thing to do, which is weird that Nintendo is allowing Microsoft to do it. Because I come from the time when, which is a weird way to say that, I played Animal Crossing for the 3DS, which was what, 2011 something? 2012? Yeah, it was around there. And and I would play with people from all around the world, but you had to like add the friend codes, and it's just awful. And their whole reasoning is, oh, we don't want people playing with strangers, so you gotta like be their friend and give them a 12-digit code to actually become their friend. And then I used trying to think of the name. It was like SwapNote or something, and it was an app on the 3DS where you could like draw messages and send it, because it didn't have like voice chat or any kind of, like, you had your friends, but you couldn't send them messages except through this one thing. And then they made it so, oh, you can only do that over Wi-Fi. It's like, why would I want to send a message to someone that's right in the room with me? It's like,
that's like sending notes in class.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's a cute little feature, but it's totally
unhelpful. I had this like pen pal basically who lived in the Netherlands, and we played this game all the time, and we would send notes to each other about the game. And then Nintendo's like, no, we got to think of the kids here. We're ending service on this app because it's, somebody could could contact anyone, but you still have to have their friend code to do it. It's so ridiculous. And so like this whole Sony blocking for the children reminds me of that. Yeah. And it's like, this is not a good way of doing this. Like, to me, this is arrogant Sony. And arrogant Sony, we saw in 2006 when the PlayStation 3 was, shown off.
Yeah.
And they were arrogant because coming off the PS2, the number one selling system of all time, it's like, they're like, yeah, we can't do any wrong. Everybody's going to buy this system. We're going to make this thing with, a Blu-ray player, and it's going to cost $600. And
what a deal.
Yeah. Well, our controllers are going to have rumble but we're number one, so who cares? And then Xbox just took right over. And I'm seeing like, okay, PlayStation 4 is number one by a lot. Arrogant Sony's coming back. They're like, we don't want to have people play with Xbox people. We have a huge install base of PlayStation Plus subscribers.
I could totally see that. We're in the lead. What's the point?
It's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to play Rocket League, just play with some PC people. That's it.
Okay, so to be fair, let's talk about PC cross-platform play.
Yeah.
Because there are versions of PC games you can't play with other PC users. For instance, if you buy some of the Microsoft games on the Microsoft Store, you might not be able to use them with Steam.
Okay.
Like, you can't play with Steam users.
Okay.
Which
seems
there's one game where the PS4 crowd can play with the PC crowd, but the Microsoft Store people that bought that can only play with Xbox One people.
Okay, yeah, I assume they're using Steam servers.
It's just strange.
When they're doing that, but yeah.
What I don't get is it's like hypocrisy that there are some games you can play with PS4 and PC, but then Xbox, no. And Switch, we don't want to let Switch people, because we got to think of the kids. It's like, really, a Nintendo system is what you're worried about people coming out and being, rude and trolls and all that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to, like, keep as much money in their pockets or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you can buy, like, stuff on the Xbox Store for Minecraft, right? Wasn't that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but I think you can do it on the PlayStation Store for Minecraft, too.
If you want to buy Minecraft, I assume you have to log into your Xbox account to play with the rest of the people, right?
With what?
Like, right now, so you can play with your Switch, PC, or Xbox.
You can play with the PC, but you can't do the Java version. It's only...
No, you have to do the Xbox Live.
The Windows 10 version.
So, yeah, I mean, if you have to log in with your X5 version, maybe you have to buy their packs on Xbox.
Yeah, I think
so then it cuts out PlayStation from their profits.
It's overall just disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably just a money thing. Like, they're arrogant. We're like, we have more users, so why would we want to try to cut our profits?
Because next generation, that might not be the case.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so yeah, they're pretty much just saying, like, we need to get as much, like, bleed as much out as we can.
Right, but it's those kind of practices that...
Oh, no, it's terrible.
That make the next generation, maybe you won't be the leader because of, like, oh, maybe I do want an Xbox because then I can play with my friends that have a Switch or PC.
Yeah, it's very short-sighted. I mean, they're looking maybe like 2 or 3 years in advance.
Yeah.
Instead of like 10.
And to be fair, we do need to say on Microsoft's behalf, Phil Spencer came out and said, no, the door's still open. We still want them. It's not Microsoft at all.
Yeah, Sony, he said Sony. That there's no live conversation at the moment, where it's more Xbox doesn't want to talk about it.
I mean,
Sony doesn't want to talk to Xbox.
We're talking about a year when on the Microsoft E3 press conference during their Minecraft video, someone had built a Nintendo Switch in Minecraft on their thing. They had a competitor's system showcased in their conference. That's crazy to me and really cool. And then for Sony to be so like, meh.
Yeah, Xbox has definitely shown more and more that they're more about the games.
And to blame it on the kids.
Exactly. So yeah, like Xbox, they have like cross-platform for some of their games.
They have buy anywhere for their PC.
Yeah, they have buy anywhere for the Microsoft Store.
Which I love.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. They're more...
Not that I have an Xbox, but I still love the fact that they do it.
They're more about the games. and not trying to like force hardware down your throat.
I'm feeling better about Microsoft than I used to.
Yeah, I mean Phil Spencer, he seems like a good guy.
He's a good guy.
We'll see what happens.
His heart's in the right place.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
But
Personal
Sony,
opinions.
I don't know, Jim Ryan, I don't know. Maybe
Controversial.
he's not helping Sony.
Fanning those flames, that's what he's doing.
Exactly.
Making people mad. When people are mad, they don't want to buy games.
Yeah, just making that whole which one's better now. Xbox, yeah, just keep trying to put consoles versus each other.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to make a giant. Not thinking about the games.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. So yeah.
All right. I think that about wraps it up for us.
Don't buy a PlayStation.
Whoa. Easy.
Why not? Why support them? Just
I
get a
love
PC.
PlayStation.
You'll be fine. You can play with everyone. So yeah.
Buy as many systems as you can afford.
Yeah, afford. Don't go bankrupt
Yeah.
buying platforms. But yeah, I think that's wraps it up.
Broaden your horizons. Experience things you've never played before.
Jeez.
Play a genre you don't like.
It's like an Xbox conference.
Just try it. So, we are Team Field of View.
Yep.
Part of it, at least.
Yeah, about half.
Yeah. My name's Matt.
I'm Alex.
And you can find us at probably where you're watching this.
YouTube.
YouTube.com/
Oh. I mean, I don't know if we have shortened, but yeah.
Well, you can find us on YouTube.
But yeah, YouTube, you can search it.
We're on Twitch.
iTunes.
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah,
you got the audio podcast. If you don't want to watch us because we're ugly, that's fine.
Well, on the go in the car.
No offense. I don't take offense. Like,
Yeah,
if you want to listen.
Subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, wherever you get podcasts at.
Yeah. And we're on Twitch at twitch.tv/TeamFov.
Yeah.
Yep. And what are we going to be streaming soon? Maybe some more Borderlands?
Oh, yeah, Borderlands. Kind of need to...
Yeah, we're getting back into that.
Did we finish?
No, we started a
Ned?
new DLC pack. We finished Ned,
Yeah,
and then we started General Knox weapons. We're doing the
That sounds
DLC
right.
Borderlands, which I have played all through. Have you played through?
I've
No?
not played Nox.
And then when we're done with that, we're going to start Borderlands 2
Yep.
and do all the DLC of that.
That's a good game.
Yeah, I've played about an hour of Borderlands 2, so I'm...
You haven't finished Borderlands 2?
No, so when we do Borderlands 2, I'm going to be taking my time with it, because we rushed through Borderlands 1 campaign. We did.
I think we didn't rush.
Oh, it took just 10 hours to get through the whole
10 hours? That's
We skipped
so-
half the missions. I'm going to be wanting to do the missions, because...
Well, I mean, Borderlands 1, half the missions.
Are just fetch quest.
Yeah, and plus they were 10 levels behind, or lower.
Yeah.
So... It was just
I wish there was a difficulty slider in that game, because I want it to be harder.
Yeah.
Because I want to do more missions, but then it just makes the game way too easy.
Yeah.
Now we're getting off topic here.
Well, either way.
But we're going to be streaming that. I'll probably stream some Roller Coaster Tycoon or Planet Coaster or something like that. Anything else you're streaming?
Ooh, maybe Overwatch.
Okay.
Start doing that.
Or Heroes of the Storm or Rainbow Six. Who knows?
Yeah. Blizzard games.
Something.
Besides Rainbow Six.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give us a subscribe. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
We'll
Appreciate
be making
it.
more podcasts. We like making them. That's why we do it. We just like making podcasts.
This
Talk
is
about
fun.
video games. So,
All right, then.
see you later.